Hillary Clinton must become the next president of the United States.
Bernie Sanders taking center stage at the DNC to rally his supporters behind Hillary Clinton.
Many now asking, though, is he selling out or taking one for the team? Well, let's ask political panel Guy Benson, a Fox News contributor, and Lauren Chevet, a Democratic strategist. Welcome back to both of you. Guy, I will start with you. Watching the convention play out in the early hours yesterday, it got a little wild there, unsure of how it was going to play out. Many people wondering what Bernie Sanders was going to say when he took the stage. Did he ease some of the calm some of the fears?
Yeah, I think he probably did. It was acrimonious here in the hall earlier on in the day. I'd never heard something like that before. Even with Ted Cruz getting booed off the stage last week in Cleveland, every mention of Hillary Clinton's name was met with loud booing in this hall. Then Bernie Sanders took the stage and I think really made a very forceful case for why he's endorsing, again, Hillary Clinton for president. That was not the mystery. He, of course, was going to back her. And I think part of the reason that he was able to make that case as robustly as he did was there were people earlier in the evening who built up to that, starting with, in prime time, I think probably the best speech of the night from the First Lady Michelle Obama, which unified this building and electrified this building where it had been totally fractured throughout the day. So he got an assist, certainly, from Michelle Obama.
Yeah, she's a great speaker.
Yeah, and Senator Cory Booker also had a very powerful speech earlier in the day as well. Lauren, but the bottom line is Bernie Sanders' followers, will they follow Hillary Clinton or will they jump over to Donald Trump?
Well, I think they will, and I just wanted to add one thing about what happened in the room, which I thought was really extraordinary, was that right before Bernie came out, the campaign handed out thousands of Bernie signs, and I think the fact that they put him, it's such a key primetime slot, actually following the First Lady, they really are making a huge effort to reach out to Sanders supporters and demonstrate, the unity of the party, and I think that's going to ultimately be successful. It's hard to lose, and I think that's going to take some time, but I do have no doubt. I mean, the differences between them, and Bernie laid that out tonight, the differences between his policies and Hillary Clinton's ultimately are not that great, and I think it'll be much easier for those supporters to rally behind her.
Although there are, I would say, a lot of people in his camp, a sizable contingent at least, who view Hillary Clinton as the embodiment of everything that he fights against, and just won't be persuaded to vote for her ultimately, but I think most of them will.
Well, and this is the week where they'll make the case that that's not correct or that's not fair.
And trade policy specifically also more in line with what Donald Trump has been saying.
Well, yeah, but I think ultimately, look, sorry.
Well, I was going to jump to this, talking about Donald Trump. With this big convention boost, that was expected, putting him back in the lead in the general election against Hillary Clinton, 48 to 45%. So, Lauren, what does Trump need to do to keep that momentum going?
Well, I think ultimately he's going to need to have a structured and organized ground game. I think a lot of folks are making the point that, of course, what gets you bumps in the polls, which obviously the wall-to-wall, 24/7 coverage that comes with the Republican convention last week, and his extraordinary ability to command the media has been to his benefit. But I think we really turn a corner now after the convention this week. We're going to have an opportunity to hear a totally different perspective, both on him and, of course, on Hillary. And then really leaving this week, he's going to have to get seriously organized in the states. I think this is where he's going to face an enormous uphill battle. The Clinton campaign, along with the Obamas and the whole Democratic Party, have been organizing for this for a long, long time, and it's a formidable structure that's going to be very tough to beat on the ground.
Well, Guy, I keep going back to how important the independent vote is this time around. You look at this CNN poll and you break it down, and where he really jumped was among independents. You look at Trump now, 46% to Clinton, who's now down at 28% among independents. I mean, that goes a long way, Guy.
Yeah, and I think when you see 4 straight days of the Republican Party and the Donald Trump convention reminding Americans why they dislike and distrust Hillary Clinton so much, you're going to see a boost in his polling numbers, which we've seen. She was flat or down a little bit. And it's not just the one CNN poll. He now has a very slim but a lead in the Real Clear Politics average. Ultimately, we'll see, does that last through Philadelphia, And does it translate into those battleground states, 13 or so states that will ultimately determine who wins this race?
Yeah, I think the independents are going to be a much bigger.
Yeah, Lauren, a double-digit lead, I was going to say, when it comes to the economy and terrorism, and who could best handle that. Yeah. Donald Trump on top.
All right, Guy Benson.
Well, and I think
Lauren,
you're going to hear the Democrats lay that out this week.
Well, they'll have their chance. We will see. Thanks, you guys, for being with us.